What is up, guys? Welcome back to Swish Life Garage. Just a weekend again, so you know what that means. That means I'm going to be working on projects again. I'm back here with the Del Sol again, picking up from where I left off on those trunk leaks. First thing I'm going to start off doing today is I'm going to have to take off the speakers, the rear speakers and the brackets, so I could get to the rear panel that houses up the rear window with the actuator and the assembly to roll up and down, folding up with the chassis, and then take off all those bolts, and we'll see how hard the adhesive is to take off. So that's the only thing I'm kind of worried about, but I'm not really worried about it because I know plenty of people have done it. Just got to be careful not to bend the panel. So without taking any more time, let's get back to it, and hopefully you guys could use some of this knowledge so you could fix some of the leaks in your Del Sol as well. Let's get it. Alright, so you want to make sure the rear window is all the way rolled down before you start taking everything off, because it won't work if you have it rolled up, because it'll be hitting up here, and yeah. So yeah, just make sure you roll it down, and we're going to take off all the bolts along the side, and then we should be good to take it off. I unplugged the window, the regulator, the motor, and so nothing else should be holding it on. So start to take it off. So there's going to be two longer bolts than the rest, and they're going to go in the bottom, so two in the bottom, and the rest are all the same size. Alright, so this was actually a whole lot easier than I thought it would be. You guys can see there's some like adhesive on here. You're going to have to get that old adhesive off, and you can see the drains are completely clogged. Where are they? Should be somewhere. Actually right here is the drain, completely clogged up, and this other one completely clogged as well. So that's why we're getting the seeping of the water coming out through here. And so gonna vacuum all of this up, start to clean everything up, clean it up with like a brush and some cleaning solution. Alright, so it's all cleaned up. Drains nice and clean. Took off the adhesive that was on here. That seals up the panel. Everything's all good. Took off the trim too, the outer trim for the rear window. And I'll show you guys that in just a bit. Took off the rubber molding. But you can see everything's real nice in here. Not gonna have any problems for another, what is it, 26 years, something like that. Let me show you guys the trim. Here's the rubber molding, cleaned it up, nice and clean. Gonna also put some electrical dielectric grease on it, so it gives the rubber a little bit of life, makes it nice and supple. But got the molding, and as usual the black starts to come off. I took off the rest of it with the razor blade, just chipped off real easily. Didn't put any scratches or anything in there. But also hit it with the maroon Scotch-Brite. I'm going to be painting this with like a a satin black. Going to be covering up the rubber here, so I just paint the front part and a little bit of this kind of dried up rubber, but I didn't want to cut it off, so going to leave that. Shouldn't look too bad, but going to tape it up, then spray it, put about 3 coats. Here we are, clean, but I put in the rubber seal for the rear window. Got some dielectric grease on there as well, so it's nice and clean. I put the clips on for the rear trim, so all I gotta do is the rear trim is already dry. It's been dry for about 2 hours. Not completely dry, but you know, it's enough to just snap it right back in. And so that's what I'm gonna do right now. I also cleaned up the rear panel with the actuator and the glass. We'll check that out. It's the rear panel with the glass. Took the glass off just so I could clean everything behind it. Put some grease on the rails. Took off the adhesive that was on there. And so it's all prepped up, ready to go, ready to just slap right back on it. But I'm gonna put on that rear trim real quick and then we'll slap this on. Here's the rear trim. Took off the tape, obviously. I don't know how good that's coming out on the camera, but it's pretty good. And so it has about 4 coats. Put 4 coats of satin black on there. So I'm just going to snap this right back in. Almost forgot to mention, got to put on these little side pieces that go right here. They were originally on there, I forgot to mention that, but they're held on with adhesive. So I got some trusty Honda Bond here. I'm going to put the Honda Bond, put it on there, and then we'll snap it right back in. But got the piece for the other side as well, so don't forget these. So there it is. There's the rear trim, and you can still see these clips show underneath. If anything, could probably get a razor blade to cut them, but it's because that on the original, on the original covering, it has this little, I don't know, like this little flap that connects to the paint, and you know, so stuff doesn't get underneath, and it would be under there, but you can't buy these things from the dealership. So this is what I'm dealing with, and to be honest, I think it looks a lot better than it being chrome. Even though I have these little clips showing, I'm not really tripping about that. Like I said, with the razor blade, probably could get it if I wanted to, maybe even painted the clips black, but I'm not really tripping about that. So in my eyes, it's pretty good. Let's go ahead and prep the interior for the panel to go right back in. Gonna have to get some adhesive. I got some. So here it is. It's called butyl putty tape. It's a sealant that they use for like RVs and stuff, and this should be good. I have about 10 feet, I believe, right here. So to go around up here, and I believe 1 layer should be enough. I'm gonna put it on and then just check it out, and then we'll put in the rear window. So everything is all cleaned up, as you guys can see. I even cleaned the flooring here, part of the floor over here as well on the other side. Next thing I'm going to do, oh, let me show you the rear molding. So with the window up, there's how the molding looks. Looks pretty good if you ask me, whole lot better. Next thing I'm going to do before the day ends, I already have the seatbelt undone. Also have the seatbelt undone from here. It's a 16 millimeter bolt, and there's a 10 millimeter bolt that holds on right there. So I got that off. I'm gonna just real quick wipe in here any dirt. You know, that's just me. I'm OCD type. And then I'm gonna take apart this drain here, blow some air through it, and that drain actually goes into the pillars. So whatever water goes in the pillar, it goes down there. So that could be a possible leak as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and knock that out, just to you know, don't have any second thoughts about that. Alright, so I had done that side and I did this side as well. You know, I made sure air was going through them nicely, nothing clogging it up. Well, alright guys, thank you guys for staying to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. I know I learned a lot today because I actually never even pulled the rear glass out before or cleaned the drains for the pillars. For sure, when I bring my Del Sol back out, I'm gonna go through it thoroughly, just like I've been going through this one. I've been putting in, I don't know how many hours into this, into just making sure everything's functioning, everything's clean, everything's sealing up correctly. I mean, I think you guys could tell just by watching these videos, but hopefully this video helps you guys with any information on taking off that rear glass or cleaning out the pillars. I think a lot of people are actually pretty scared to actually even take off the rear glass or even take off that rear compartment, just because, I don't know, I guess they see it as a lot of work. But really, it's not that hard. You can actually do this a whole lot faster if you're not OCD like me. But alright guys, I appreciate you guys sticking through this video. Make sure you are subscribed and comment down below. As always, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I really don't care, as long as you guys watch this video, right? Alright guys, catch you guys on the next one.